Welcome to another episode of Busy to Calm. As a working mom, and this being the first day of technically being off with Lana, I have to do this kind of on the go. So it's a little bit of a podcast, but a vlog and a YouTube video. So welcome. I hope that this format works out. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about, I'm going to bring you with me. So if you're watching on YouTube, you get kind of more of the visuals of my life. And I live in Orlando, Florida. I am a working mom. I'm a wedding videographer. I have that freelance business, and now I also am doing more with YouTube. I also am developing digital products and things around mompreneurs and people who are multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate. And my anchor in my whole schedule is that I am actually still a career dancer and performer at Universal Studios. So I am there consistently 24 hours a week. That is the majority of my work life. And then, of course, being a mom is 24/7. So I'm actually in the process of making breakfast. And so my daughter is over here. She's eating her breakfast. So I'm going to bring you with me throughout my day as I just talk a little bit more about uncomplicated content, or video and audio content can be uncomplicated. And this is me coming from being a career performer. I have been mostly in live events and live performance, but I then took a commercial videography education course back in 2014 when I was on tour. I did it all online. And then while I was go, we traveled to I think it was 303 cities in 10 months. And I lived on a tour bus. We were in and out of hotels and different things. And I just really wanted to capture everything as it was. I had to use discretion though, because there were some IPs and elements working on Disney Live that I could not show. Backstage, I could not film backstage, but I just wish I started a podcast back then, because then I wouldn't have had to have the video element and still been able to feel like I'm producing something and sharing knowledge and talking about topics that I enjoy. All of that being said, I have learned throughout the years that making content on video, it really does not have to be that complicated, and it's gotten so much easier with the rise of these little content creator microphones. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I have my little Hollyland Lark M1 microphone. It is very similar to the one that DJI makes, and this is actually approved by an actual audio engineer that I have worked with, and he was telling me that he loves these. He's got 5 of them, and he uses them in different productions when he is doing running audio, and you need different bandwidths and different signals going all at the same time. The first point I want to make with that being said is that you don't have to wait for perfection. You can honestly just start, and I would just start, but prioritize audio. So if your content that you're wanting to create is around speaking different tips or giving tips around a particular topic, this format is going to help you a lot more than if you're an artist and you're trying to find opportunities to create your deliverable that you're giving to people. Whether you are a wedding videographer or whether you are a wedding photographer, maybe you're a dancer and or a choreographer, and you want to show your art and your process. I think that this is all just a great way to just be on the go, having audio and video. I'm filming this on my iPhone in cinematic mode, and just using these basic free tools that we all have access to. Step number 1 is definitely just removing the standard of perfection and the perfect aesthetic settings. I have things in the background, but cinematic mode does me some favors for sure. I have also realized that as a working mom, I can't take productivity tips from anyone that's not a working mom. I see so many things from people who are teaching content creation. It somehow just doesn't land with me. I would say, being in my late 30s, I am a lot busier with multiple responsibilities in my life that the average, maybe 25-year-old who is, in college and is just trying to explore starting their own business or whatever, and they don't have any strings attached to their lifestyle. Maybe they're not a homeowner. We own a home. We have to take care of a lot of things around our home. So maybe they don't own a home. Maybe they're not a parent who, Kids rely on you for a lot, and their time is all governed by themselves. It's like they can do whatever they want with their time, and they don't have to answer to anyone else. And I, as someone who's trying to create content and run a business, who, not only do I have client work that I need to answer to and meet deadlines for, but I am also trying to make a sustainable routine around uncomplicated content and how I can make my marketing content that not only promotes my wedding videography services, but also promotes my education services and make it just routine. Like, I know I can do this and I know that I have the skills and the mindset to be able to do this. It's just about executing it. So all of that being said, other people can do it too. If I can do it, I'm super busy. I feel like I kind of have like 3 jobs right now, and plus I'm a mom. So I think that if you have just as much on your plate, you can do this too, or we can figure this out together. So yeah, those are my first points, is that, having an imperfect mindset, and then also, of course, just starting kind of messy, and really understanding that if you are a fellow super busy person, I am as well. So I just wanted to leave that disclaimer. If you've ever felt like you can't take advice from, someone who doesn't have a lot of responsibilities, then I'm with you and I understand and I can empathize for sure. So we're going to figure this out together. And I know that I'm probably a couple steps ahead of some people out there. And they always say, you just need to be like 2 or 3 steps ahead of someone else to be able to teach in a relatable way. And that's my goal. I'm just going to take a break here for a second, eat some breakfast, and then I'll circle back with my next few points. Okay, so I want to get into some of the tactics. I am now driving and I'm not going to be looking at my camera too much, but so I want to get into some of the tactics of how to make content uncomplicated. So as you are on the go, like I am demonstrating right now, if you're watching on YouTube, I am packed out. Like, I have a tote bag. Me and Lana, we're going to a splash pad, and we're just going to be able to, make some content while we are on the go. And so I would say, and I have mentioned this just previously, get yourself a mini on-the-go content creator mic. So I have another video on my YouTube channel about this, where I show and demonstrate my setup basically. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll show a little tiny clip here of how I basically put the cord, it's like a mini receiver, into the audio output of a main like DSLR camera. But the kit that I have, it also comes with an audio out into the receiver from a lightning port for an iPhone, or if you have a newer iPhone, then that's like the USB-C. So you definitely want to just keep that good audio with you all day, daily carry, and that's just going to make your content creation so much easier. I can put my phone down, and honestly, this microphone even like has distance to it, so I can like walk away from my camera and be out of the normal speaking range. Anyways, so my point being is like, you really need to have just a daily carry routine of carrying a little on the go microphone and just ready to set up and put together like this for whenever inspiration sparks your attention. So the second tactic that I want to emphasize for making content uncomplicated is oh yeah, we go to that one tomorrow. We're passing Volcano Bay, and so she sees the water slide and she's like, yes, I want to go to that one. But I made reservations for us to go tomorrow. So the second tactic that I want to talk about for making content uncomplicated is just your camera organization. And the first thing that I always like to do when I getting into like a planning session, so Sunday mornings or like Saturday mornings are usually like my CEO Sundays or CEO Saturdays, and I'm able to just slow down and think about the week like past and then think about the week ahead. What are some topics and things that are just like top of mind? Go through my tasks app and see what I like randomly throughout the week jotted down as like a reel or a short form piece of content or a quick tip that I'm just like, ooh, I would love to make this into a long form video, or have this be a speaking point for like a long form video or long form piece of content like a podcast. And what you would do is, I always talk about doing a content warm-up session. So you start to not only get a warm-up in how you want to convey the message, but why not tape it on your iPhone? Like, put it in vertical mode, prop it up. I have a little Moft invisible tripod attachment to the MagSafe magnet on the back of my phone, so I could pop it on and off, but it just props up my phone for me. It's really strong. It just holds it up perfectly. And I just love that, like, I'll find a little window by the table that I'm doing like a slow little coffee planning session in the morning. Usually I have Lana's watching like her weekend cartoons or shows. But my point is that do find a moment of your week to do a content warm-up session. And if you have the ability, like while you are planning out your content or planning out speaking points for your next long form piece of content, just tape it like in a very raw, real, candid way and just edit it later. And I'll get into editing here in a second. But you want to just make it raw and real. And this is kind of the reverse of how when people say take that long form piece of content and turn it into short form pieces. But I actually just love I love things actually already being filmed vertically, because there is just naturally more space to be able to put, like a headline or some text above my head, or, captions below, without the scene feeling like too crammed. Because I've done both. It's not the best shot when I am trying to do something like from long form and then repurposing it into short form with a vertical crop, but it's doable. So yeah, if you can, like I said, just do a content warm-up session, brainstorm on like little sticky notes if you're more of a pen and paper person, all of the things that you want to basically talk about. And now, like, my sub tip to this is that I will, and again, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll throw up a little demo video of this showing some footage of how I do this, but I will sit at the table it's actually my daughter's like craft art table. I don't know why I like that one, but it just feels cozy. It's by like a window that looks out to our back patio and the pool, and like I see, squirrels and birds and whatever. But I'll just sit there and I'll find like an angle where it's like I just have the wall as my background, or like maybe our kitchen door frame is the background, and I'll film all of like the different vertical speaking points that I wanted to convey in the long form. And then what I'll do is they're all on these like little sticky notes, and so I take those sticky notes and I put them on like a whiteboard. I have this like mini whiteboard, and I will just kind of be like, okay, how do all of these relate, and what overarching streamlined topic do all of these relate to? And then it's like, boom, that is my long form piece of content or video topic. I don't know why for me it's easier to make long form content for YouTube or a podcast than it is to be like, okay, I'm going to make all these short form pieces of content. Like for me, I really love to batch all of those short form pieces, and I like to do those in these like and I like to do these in these content warm-up sessions. Oh, you do? So that being said, let me get into my third tip when you're executing content creation and how to make it more uncomplicated. So when you are in the process of filming each one of your clips, you want to give your video like a slate. So it's, the clapboard, and you can do this with those sticky notes. So write on a sticky note, write down the topic, hold it up to your camera before you hit record, and then when you're just looking at your gallery on your phone, you're able to basically see all the different topics that were filmed. And so you see all those topics, and you can tell which video before you hit play from your photo gallery, which one that was and which topic that was about. So That just makes it easier when it comes to editing and sorting your footage, because when you just have all these little squares in your photo gallery and all of them are just like your face and it's the same scene, it's harder, in my opinion, to sort through that footage. So that's why it's so great to have a slate. This is the technique that's used in professional TV and film, and so there's got to be a reason why people use this in a professional setting. It just makes organization of your footage so much easier. So try it next time with a little sticky note, and that just is so much easier. When I'm on the go, honestly, I always have a pen with me, and I have done this with like my hand before. Like I'll write on my hands what it is, and then I'll just like hold it up to the screen, and I'm able to just like keep track of what the scene was. So do whatever you need to do to kind of organize your content, but that is my best tip of advice for that particular thing. We're about to get here to the splash pad. I'm going to pause here for a second since my daughter's becoming a little chatterbox in the back seat, and we'll pick it off with my last tip, which is all about editing and seeing all of your content through to the finish line, because editing is truly the biggest thing that a lot of people get held up with. Editing Rachel here. I just got out of the shower, realized that a whole portion from the splash pad was just like unusable audio because of like how much ambient noise there was from the water at the splash pad. So now that we have like filmed everything, I wanted to talk about like post-production. So the best things I could recommend are get familiar with a platform that you can either do on your phone or on a desktop version and for free. So the ones I always like to recommend are iMovie. iMovie is like what I started on, and that honestly like poured over into Final Cut Pro, because now I'm able to use Final Cut Pro as like just my professional level editing platform. So but if you don't have a Mac or iMovie, I would definitely suggest checking out CapCut. That is like so many people use it. Or there's also DaVinci, but like if you are just getting started, DaVinci Resolve is like overkill. You just need something to do like super basic edits. The great thing about CapCut is that if you ever want to like be a paid like subscriber to that, then you're able to already get into it and be familiar with the platform. And a lot of people like creators and stuff are all making these like templates and stuff for reels on CapCut. So if short form content is something that you're like, okay, I definitely want to do more of this, then I would highly advise that. But I will tell you what I do. So on iMovie, or even like for me in Final Cut Pro, I actually like to take all of the vertical clips I filmed in a short form batching style session, and I actually like to lay them out all in one timeline in Final Cut Pro or in iMovie for you. And I actually just like edit them. So I'll create like one intro. This is like what I did with my PJ planning series. I developed one intro, and then I input that into like every single video as kind of like a theme. And it just was like a way to kind of like be like, hey, this is part of the PJ planning series or sessions. So that's really nice. And then also, once you design one title or one set of captions, what you can do is like you copy that over and you spread it across all of the different videos that you are editing in one timeline. So it just makes it a lot easier. The more that you can kind of create like a template for yourself, that's going to just make it so much easier. So my last tip is just that like when you are basically like you just filmed all of this content, really try to edit it as fast as possible. I do all of my filming like on my iPhone, and because I have a Mac, I AirDrop, and I just edit everything super quick on my MacBook. Or if it is, a reel or something like that that I just wanted to do a quick one-off thing, I will actually do it here in on my phone, but like I'll try to do it pretty quick after I film it. So like same night, or if not like same week that I filmed it, just so it's fresh in my brain. And all of this to say too, also shameless plug, but I have a Google Calendar course, and I also teach about how I do content mapping and content planning in there. So if it's something like a video topic that has been on my mind, I will like brain dump it into my Google Calendar task board, and then I create like an entire kind of like icon prefix system. So I'm able to quickly find all of my long form video ideas, all of my short form video ideas, all of my long form video ideas that I want to become like a podcast. So I have different prefix emojis for that, and it just makes it really easy. But after I film something, I will notate it into my task board, and I have like different columns that show like what's been taped, what's been edited, and what's been scheduled to post. So shameless plug, definitely check that out. It'll be linked down in the description if you want to check out the full Google Calendar productivity system for flexibility, and especially just creative business owners and solopreneurs who are like doing everything themselves. So I will see you in the next video, and yeah, I hope you have a great week and best of luck.